This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, best-selling author, and host and author of the brand new book that is in pre-sale, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. He's my co-host today as we answer your questions about your relationships, your boundaries, your mental health, your work, your career, and your money. It's all right here. It's a free call. Some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Stephen starts off this hour in Mobile, Alabama. Hi, Stephen. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve, man. What's up?
I just wanted to run a question by you. My wife and I bought a residential lot a little over a year ago to build on, and due to how the building industry's going, the builder seemed like they wanted to get out of it. So lo and behold, we're in another house now, and we've got that lot. She's got a little over $40,000 in student debt. So just didn't know if it's something we should rush to sell. We've had it on the market, but not too much interest. Should we lower the price to try to sell it and put that toward the debt quicker, or just kind of ride it out?
So you are trying to sell it. The only question is how motivated you should be.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What's it on the market for?
For $20 right now.
What'd you pay for it?
We paid $11. I put probably $3,500 into work on it before we terminated the contract.
What's the work?
Just some excavation, trees, and
okay,
getting it ready to.
So you got 15. You got 15 or so in it, give or take, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you got it on the market for 20 for how long?
A little over 150 days.
Okay. Well, this is a fairly hot real estate market. It hadn't sold. I guess you're not desperate. I don't need to give it away, but I'd probably drop it to something and try a little $1.99 psychologist, see if we can get it to move. Have you got a bad realtor?
Well, I don't think so. I'm not sure, really. We've used it for a few things before and seems to do a good job. Mm-hmm. But it may not be anything she's in a rush for just because the price.
Because it's $20,000 and she didn't make anything, yeah. You might, I tell you what, I would do a little shopping. Hit our ELP, our endorsed local provider for real estate in the area, a couple of them, and interview them, and just call them on the phone and just go, hey, I've got this lot. It's been on the market. Pull it up on MLS. Tell me what your thoughts are, why it hadn't sold. And you don't even have to, I'm not going to take up your time with a meeting. A phone call will work. And just take up gather a little intel about what's going on. Because, for somebody to call me up and say any piece of real estate is at 150 days in this white-hot real estate market makes bells go off in my head. Something's wrong. Mm-hmm. Your price is way off, or your realtor's lazy, or this is a horrible piece of ground, or I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it? I've seen people pay double of what something was originally listed for. Did your builder walk away because the ground is not good?
There's a slope to it. It's we hadn't got it flat yet. He walked away because work wasn't done yet, and we spoke to some other builders, and their costs were above what we were willing to pay. So
did you?
I'm not sure if that's what turned people.
Did you buy a new house, or are you renting right now? And here's what I'm asking.
We bought.
Okay, so you're done. You're where you're going to be. You're not going to build a house anymore.
Well, I'm dropping the price. I'm dropping the price, and I'm probably changing real estate agents.
Yeah.
But I'm not dropping it to $14,900. I'm dropping it to $19,900 or $18,900 or something. Just try to give it a little refresh. Mm-hmm. Give it a little zit, a little shock there, and let's get it moving. Something like that, because it hadn't sold, and something wrong.
It sounds weird.
Yeah, it's everything. Everybody you talk to, real estate's, depending on, and Mobile's no exception. Mobile's a hot market too.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know where you are. I don't know if you're out in the country somewhere, or if it's bad topo on this thing. It's full of rock. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've got a lot or two that look like they're rock farm. I'm in Tennessee. Looks like we're going to have a good crop. Spring, we're going to harvest those things. I'm just saying. I mean, but sometimes you get into that, and the building cost to put you're not exactly excavating. You're more like dynamiting, to get ready.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is what we get into, like in Tennessee. I doubt in Mobile, you're probably down on the coast, you're probably not got that type of soil issue. But you could be all kinds of different things like that. Sean's with us. Sean is in West Palm Beach, Florida. Hey, Sean, what's up?
Hi there. My wife and I just adopted our little girl from India.
Wow.
And thanks. And we have a question as far as where to put that adoption tax credit, what to use it with.
Mm-hmm.
And I had two ideas. We're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about putting our traditional IRA to convert it to a Roth.
Mm-hmm.
There's about $65,000 in that,
mm-hmm.
Which would eat up that $14,300 credit.
Mm-hmm.
Or we would just adjust my withholding and put more in the house.
Mm-hmm. No, I would not convert stuff to Roth while you still have house debt.
Okay.
Because in effect, you're borrowing on your house to do the conversion.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make sure, baby. You got baby step 5. You got good 529 going for the kiddo.
We're doing that as well. Yep.
I mean, you could drop some money into that.
Okay.
Like hit it hard. Because if you take a brand new baby and drop $5,000 in there, it's going to turn into a lot of money in 18 years.
That's good. All right. Well, thank you so much.
So I might do some of that, maybe 5 there or 10 there, and then the rest of it on the house. But no, I'm not going to do the Roth conversion.
I didn't realize the tax credit was so extensive.
Must be, I don't know.
It's new, yeah.
That's large.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to hear that number. I'm like you.
Yeah. $14,000, huh?
Somehow I had $3,500 in my head.
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't know what happened,
yeah.
but somewhere it may have something to do with the situation around the adoption. Sometimes that'll change things a little bit, but I don't know. You got me. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thanks for joining us. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Over the last 30 years, we've walked with tens of thousands, no, millions of families to help them overcome their financial stress. But there's all kinds of stress out there, and that is what Dr. Deloney is addressing in his new book called Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's available for pre-order. It's selling really good.
Yeah, it's good, man. I'm excited.
Really good. It's like really exciting.
It's
like
exciting.
zoom.
It's good.
Yeah, this is great. And the book is all about changing your story.
That's right. Changing what happened, owning what happened. You can't change what happened. Owning what happened, and then deciding what am I going to do next.
Yeah. You got to reach a point you're not living in the past and what happened all the time, and let that be your definition.
And we don't often think we're living in the past, but our body sure does. And it's syncing it all up together.
You're playing the tapes over and over.
There you go.
There you go. Mental health matters. Hey, you get a free month of one-on-one therapy with the folks over at Better Health. You get the audiobook and the ebook all in the pre-order at $20 at at RamseySolutions.com.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America, as we talk about your relationships, your mental health, your money, your career. It's all on the line right here. 888-825-5225. Mike is in Canada. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sure, man. What's up?
So I recently doubled my income. I used to make $40,000 a year. Now I'm making $80,000 gross.
Good for you.
And I'm starting to pay off my debt. And I had a question. So I know, like, I'm currently in step 2. I know you need to the debt snowball. You need to pay the smallest, the largest, regardless of interest. But I have a credit card with like an equal payment plan, so there's absolutely no interest on it, and it's just equalized. There's like a year and a half left in payments, about 18 months. So I was wondering, should I pay that off immediately? It's only about $2,000. But I also have like the second bigger loan is like a family loan for $6,000. So which one should I prioritize? Should I keep making the equal payments, or should I just squash that debt out, the $2,000?
Okay, you just told me you list your payments smallest to largest. You pay minimum payments on everything but the smallest, and you put all the money on the smallest until it's gone, regardless of interest. You just told me that.
Like psychologically,
you just told me that.
It feels better to just pay off your siblings, because like that's the $6,000 is a family loan. I'm like,
are they in trouble?
No, they're just nagging about it. And I'm like, I just want to pay it off.
Are you paying them payments as agreed?
No.
You're not paying them
like,
anything.
Okay, I'm just gonna. No, it's just like, okay, just pay it on lump.
I'm sorry?
Do you
They just wanted paid in a lump sum.
Do you have $6,000 to pay them in a lump sum?
No, like I'm in baby step 2, so all I have like in my pockets is like $1,200. So no.
What was the loan for?
Well, I actually have 2 family loans. It's for student debt, so I didn't really go through a bank, or I just borrowed from family members. So I've got $30,000 in total, owed to both siblings.
You have $30,000 or $3,000?
I've got $6,000 for one sibling, $24,000 for the other. $30,000 in total.
And the $6,000's the squeaky wheel.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you'll get to them when you get to them.
Yeah.
$2,000 first. Knock it out.
All right.
And then get to the sibling. Because I take it you're paying them no payments now, and when you finish off this credit card like this month, next month, you're going to start sending them, what, $2,000 a month or $1,000 a month? What are you going to send them?
Well, they live in a different country, so because I'm a cheap bastard, I'm like, okay, I'll just save up and pay them a lump to avoid the wiring fees, because she's in Germany, I'm in Canada.
The wiring fees are not that high.
Yeah, your avoidance here.
I'm just avoiding it, I guess.
Yeah, and here's what I'd do. I'd sit down, I'd call my sibling and say, I'm sorry I've left you hanging here. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's my plan. I'm going to pay you this much every month for this time, and then we're going to get done with this thing. All the avoidance, and I'll just let it pile up. Yeah, if I was them, I'd be hassling you too, because it sounds like you're just avoiding it all. Make a plan with them as though they're a creditor, right?
Yeah, and it's been a while. How long have you had this money?
About a year and a half now.
Yeah, okay. And you didn't have good, clear terms and agreement on when you were going to pay it back or how you were going to pay it back. So they made up one scenario in their head, you made up another scenario in your head, and so now we're pissed about this scenario that doesn't even exist. So the best thing to do is get it off the books as fast as you can. In the meantime, call. Now, how much can you put on debt with $80,000 a year? How much can you put on debt a month?
If I don't go out or don't do anything,
yeah, like what we tell you to do.
Yes, don't go out. What would it be?
I'll try not to. Yeah,
no, you don't have to try not to. Don't do it.
Yeah, didn't you watch Star Wars 1? There is no try. Just do it. So, how much?
All right.
How much?
I will put down $25 until I pay off my debt. So how about that?
$2,500.
Hey, let's just.
So that pays off the credit card this month. Next month you're going to send $2,500. The next month you're going to send $2,500. The next month you're going to pay that sibling off. And if you call them and tell them or send them an email that that's what's going to occur, they're going to stop whining if you follow through on that.
And
yes, we'll do.
Mike, I'm going to change your life. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, listen to me. This is the way you live. This is a microcosm of your life, and it stops today. You have almost fractured family relationships over a problem that could be solved in 90 days. That's ridiculous because you're circling around and you're like, I don't know. Solve the problem in 90 days. Most of our health problems can be solved in 90 days. A great number of our mental health challenges can be solved in 90 days. Relationships can be healed in 90 days. If someone will just go do it. Well, I guess if I don't go out anymore, is that worth your sister? Get done with it, man. What dinner is worth your sister, right? Or to my friends. Get it paid off. And never, ever, ever not get something knocked out that's going to take 90 days of hard work. Good grief.
Okay.
That's it. I'm done now.
Good. I'm glad you feel better.
I'm done now. Jeez Louise.
But it's exactly right. So Star Wars 1 was, there is no try?
It was Yoda.
It was Yoda in 1?
I think it was 1 or 2. I don't know.
I'm looking at James. James.
Sorry, I'm not a Star Wars nerd.
You're not a Star Wars geek?
Oh.
You
it's
guys...
like he tells Luke to do this thing, and they're in a swamp, and he's like lifting the. Oh man, we've said some things on the show that gets the hate mail and the cards and letters, but we're about to get them.
Yeah, we're gonna get. Now we got a whole 2.
And he said,
I'm getting a vote for 2.
I'll try to lift it.
I'm getting a vote for 2 from the lobby.
He said there is.
I got a vote for 2.
All right, well,
but
Star Wars 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking 1 didn't have that much pithiness in it. I could be wrong, but it's yeah. I mean, it's so old.
Yeah, it's episode 5 if you're a true nerd.
It was so old I was a teenager. Okay, that's how old 1 is. All right, that's freaking old.
You went to the theater in your covered wagon.
Rocky Horror Picture Show and Star Wars.
You had to make
brand
your own
new.
butter
this
to
is
put on your
how
popcorn.
old it was. Oh man. So here's the thing. I think that brings up a good point, though. Our friend, our mutual friend James Clear, that wrote the book Atomic Habits. Yeah. He talks about, and Craig Groeschel was talking about this, another friend, in his leadership podcast the other day. And he's speaking at the SMART conference in the fall, Craig is. But this idea that you have to be careful biblically and psychologically what comes out of your mouth. I'll try.
Yep.
No, you're not a person who is trying to quit smoking. You're a person who used to smoke.
That's right.
That's a whole different set of phrasing. Activates your brain, your spirit in a whole different way.
That's right.
I am getting out of debt. And so during this time, I'm going to list the debts, smallest to largest. I'm going to pay minimum payments on everything but the little one. I'm going to attack the little one with a vengeance. I'm not going to see the inside of a restaurant during this period of time unless I'm working there as my extra job. And I'm not going on vacation during this time. There is no try.
That's exactly right.
You create a new identity. I'm a person who used to struggle with money. I don't anymore.
Right. I'm a steward of my money, period.
Yeah.
And that is the frame with which I decide, am I going to go out?
Math used to intimidate me. It doesn't anymore.
Correct. I'm a person
who does the math because it's causing me to win at my life. And oh, by the way, the math is the 5th grade level.
That's exactly
needed to build wealth. You don't have to have a calculus degree to build wealth.
That's right.
You do not have to pass trigonometry or geometry. You don't have to spell Pythagorean theorem to become wealthy. All you've got to do is you don't even have to be really good at multiplication.
Right.
Just long division and addition and a little subtraction. It's not that hard. But what happens is our brains tell us this stuff over and over and over. I was the kid who struggled in math class, so I'm not good at money.
Or your mom told you, we're just not good at math in the Ramsey family.
The Ramsey family's not good at math. Or the Ramsey family's always good at math.
And you took that on as an identity, right?
This is an identity change. That's what Clear's talking about.
That's right.
And that's what Craig's talking about. You change your identity. You go, this is who I am. I'm a joyful, happy, really good at math person.
I'm a guy that takes, hey, I used to fight it. I got to go work out. Nope. I'm a guy who takes care of my body.
Yep. And that will result in you
out as a
working
part
out.
That's right.
There's a cause and effect here.
That's right.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Paul and Kathy are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, Dave.
We're great.
great.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Charlotte.
Oh, welcome to Nashville. Cool.
Glad to be here.
Well, it's a fun drive over. Pretty time of year to do that.
We flew.
Oh, well, that's even better. There's just that. Okay. All right. Good. So how much debt have you two paid off?
Well, we had about $173,000.
And how long did that take you?
Took us 5 years and 4 months.
5 years and 4 months. And your range of income during that time?
Started out around 105 and it's up about 150 right now.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a computer software consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And I take care of a couple of little girls.
That's perfect.
I'm nanny.
As it should be. Okay, good. So what kind of debt was the $173,000?
We had about $9,000 left on old business debt. We had a house flipping business that my son and I started.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to pay that off before we got into financial peace.
Mm-hmm.
And then $164,000 was on a mortgage.
Paid off your house!
Yes.
Looking at weird people! Woo! I love it.
Way to go.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Very cool. Congratulations.
I'm about
you
to
guys.
retire, and we had a goal of getting us out of that mortgage before I retired.
There you go. There you go.
I'll be 65 in November.
Changes everything.
It's awesome.
It does.
How long y'all been married?
38 years.
38 years.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. He looks at her as he answers, and she wasn't sure. That was great. I like that. I like that score.
Dude, that's yes.
It seems like just yesterday.
22
Too late,
minutes.
Kathy. Too late.
22 minutes. 22 minutes. I love it. I love it. Way to go, you guys. Have you ever been debt-free since you've been married?
Oh, heck no.
No, not until now.
Not until
Although, we did pay off a house back in 1999, 2000, when I hit it big with stock options. Then I got really stupid after that.
And that's when the flipping houses started.
Yeah,
You got cocky.
Took out an equity loan for $100,000 on
Yeah.
a house, put it in the stock market, did a bunch of crazy things.
Yeah.
oil wells.
Oil well.
Oh, man, you did it all. Just bring it on.
Bought land in southern
Kathy
Colorado.
can't remember how long they've been married, but she remembers what he did when he was stupid with his money.
I like
Yep.
it. For all that pain. Well, way to go, you guys. All right,
Yeah.
tell us your story. What happened 5 years ago to start this?
So Financial Peace University, I said to Kathy, yeah, what I'm doing isn't going to work for our retirement. We've got to do something different. Please come to Financial Peace with me. And I kind of dragged her along that first day, that first night.
I wonder why. With all the things.
Another scheme.
Another scheme, yes.
Yeah.
And, it was great. When we left that first night, I was more pumped than he was.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And we cut up our 13 credit cards.
That first night.
Well, within a couple weeks.
Within a couple weeks. Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, your wallet is thinner now.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the chiropractor from your back being out of alignment. That's
But
incredible.
we've led FPU probably a half dozen times since
Well,
then.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. At your local church?
Yes.
What's the
Yes.
church?
We're Catholics. We're in a couple different parishes. We're currently
Wonderful.
St. Mark's in Huntersville.
Very
North
cool.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much. We're
It's
honored to have you. Thank you.
Very
cool.
rewarding.
We also got onto the Dave Ramsey website
Mm-hmm.
when we moved to Charlotte and looked up an endorsed local provider.
Mm-hmm.
Hooked up with this young guy, 27 years old at the time, Brian Wheeler. Mm-hmm. He really helped us.
Yeah.
Helped us a lot.
Let me tell you how cool his SmartVestor Pro is. He came with him
He flew up here. Can you
to do
imagine?
the debt-free screen.
How cool is that?
That's a pretty cool financial advisor. It comes with you to
Yes.
do your debt-free
Most
screen.
of y'all's financial advisors won't return your phone calls.
He comes from Charlotte to do the debt-free
Came down
screen.
with you, man.
Bought us a beautiful steak dinner last night.
Yep.
Wow.
Great guy.
Well, you're a success story or one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to go, you guys.
Yeah.
So
We're
proud
excited.
of you.
We're excited.
So how does it
And
feel
thank you.
to not have a mortgage?
Yeah.
It feels fantastic. Oh, man, what a great feeling that is.
What does it feel like? It sounds like you got more than just your money back. It sounds like you, Kathy, you're talking about, oh, here's another scheme. Here's another dog and pony show.
That's what Sharon always said. She's always telling me, you're scheming and scamming.
There you go. Right. But it sounds like you got trust back with one another. Tell us about that.
Getting on the same page.
Just being on the same page, and I really trust him now.
Yeah.
I mean, it. In the years back, I would say, we're just not going to make it.
Yeah.
But then we did, and we have you to thank, Dave. I mean, that first meeting just changed our lives.
Yeah.
And
We were in our 50s, close to 60, and we didn't know if we had enough time.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that
Kinda scary.
A lot of the people that attend FPU, older people like us, can we actually do it? Yeah, you can do it.
Paul,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Paul, what would you tell the guy who is the casual listener to have a guy be 60 years old and say, the trajectory I'm on is I'm going to crash this car. I got to do something different. That takes a lot of humility to do that. And a lot of men in your situation, financial and otherwise, making good money, you've been ups and downs, don't have the courage to say that out loud. What would you tell them?
Just got to be true to yourself. Men put on facades all the time.
Yeah.
We got egos, and we don't like to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But when you're true to yourself, you're vulnerable, true to your wife, let her know what's actually going on. Only good things can happen after that.
That's so good, man.
Oh,
That's so
touchdown.
Good. Yeah.
Touchdown.
You're a brave, good man.
Amen.
It's awesome.
Amen.
Yes, he
What was the
is.
hardest part of this for y'all?
What do you think?
doing the budget meeting.
I'm the nerd.
In the beginning.
Oh no.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
now-
had spreadsheets, man.
He still does.
Oh, he's got bar graphs.
Oh,
he's
no.
got, he's
Yeah.
got bar graphs.
Check that out,
spreadsheets,
huh?
yeah.
This is an
I just
Excel
popped
guy
it
that
up
knows
on
how
YouTube. Yeah.
all the buttons work, right? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Man, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, we're so honored that we get to be part of your story because you got an incredible story. I'm so proud of you. Very, very well done. When you're teaching the class and somebody's sitting there, what do you tell them the main thing they have to do if they want to get out of debt is?
What I tell them is the budget is super critical.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure that every dollar has a name,
Mm-hmm.
like what you say. And you got to get on the same page with your spouse. I mean, so many of them,
Trust.
only one of the couple comes, and it's so hard to do it with when that's the way it works. You've got to get on the same page. Budget helps, and just be honest with yourselves. Try to set goals together. That's really key.
That's powerful. A lot of wisdom.
So what are you going to do now, man?
Well, I'm going to retire at the end of this year, and we're going to do a lot of traveling.
All right.
Have you had that first paycheck deposit where you don't have a mortgage payment?
Oh yeah, we got out of debt. We made the last payment in August.
So
okay.
Tell the listener what that feels like when that check deposits and it's all yours.
I tell you, it is so freeing. It is so freeing to know that you don't owe a dime to anybody else, and unless you get stupid, it's going to be that way for the
I
rest
won't
of your
let
life.
him be stupid again.
No, there'll be duct tape involved.
Kathy, like, I'm going to kill him this time. That's right.
That's it.
You two are awesome.
We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth, how you can too. I'm sure you're there or almost there already. It's definitely the next chapter in your story. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Copy of the Total Money Makeover.
Yep.
for you to give away and stir up a ruckus with somebody else and get them started. Thank you for leading Financial Peace and for going through it. We're so honored to talk to you guys. You're amazing.
Can
you
I say
Thank you.
one thing? I just want to tell you that your phrase, "It's not good enough," that was the best thing for me.
We've used it several times.
Yes, several times. It's not good enough.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
You know, the old negotiating lesson.
I haven't heard that line.
Back in the day. It's a negotiating phrase.
Yes.
Back in the buyer
okay.
beware lesson.
Yeah.
That's a couple of versions back. Yeah. Well,
The last car we bought was $75 $100 bills in my pocket.
That's not good enough.
And I got it at $500 under list.
I like it. All right, Paul and Kathy, count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2,
2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! House and everything. Those are weird people. Woo! Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Aaron is with us in Kansas City. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Good. Hey, I got a question. So I have a daughter that's getting ready to start college next year and a son that's going to be a sophomore in high school. I just want your advice. We don't have debt except for our house, but, you know, we've been blessed. Last couple of years, our pay has increased, you know, quite a bit more than like 2 years ago, but we weren't disciplined enough to really save much for college. I don't want my kids going into debt, right? And my question is, you know, since we've had, you know, a bump in our income, should I attack their college tuition like it's debt? You know what I mean? Like she's getting ready to enroll next year where I don't have to take out any loan or anything like that because I don't want to do that. Or what's your suggestion?
What is your household income?
We're right around 200.
Okay. All right. Yes, you can cash flow this college. It is based on a couple of things, and you're going to have to do it with a plan, unlike how you got here, right? So one of the things we know for sure, the biggest element on being able to cash flow college is college choice.
Right.
Get debt-free college is college choice. When you choose a college, when you choose a Bentley on the car lot and you have a Chevrolet budget, you're about to go in debt.
Right.
And so you are not on the Bentley lot, my man. You're broke. You're broke with a good income. So this young lady is going to a wonderful state university with in-state tuition.
Yeah,
and
that's
maybe
what we're
even
doing.
Yeah, and maybe even a community college for the first 2 years to get her some of the basics out of the way.
Or maybe even both, right? She can do.
Yeah, she will have about a year going into it, and we are going to state school. So.
Going to live at home?
Down in actually, she'll be about 2 hours away.
Okay.
So
going to Kansas then?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got a Jayhawk in my family, so that's all right.
Well, it's a Wildcat.
Oh, you're going that way. Okay. Kansas State.
Yeah. No. So, but yeah, we don't. You know, like I said, we don't have any debt. Now it's just. I was trying to look at this as like gazelle intensity.
Well, now how much is Kansas State a year? Have you looked it up?
Yeah, you know, she'll get some scholarship. So with everything around 22,000.
No, it's not 22,000 tuition.
No, room and board.
You're talking about
room and board.
Yeah, I'm asking tuition. How much is the tuition?
Oh, yeah, 9,500.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That sounds right. And so $22,000. If that all goes in, that's $2,000 a month out of a $200,000 income. $24,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
And you can cash flow that out of a thing, and that does not even require gazelle intensity. That just requires a budget item. You just have $2,000 a month for college.
Yeah.
In your budget.
And I want to warn you two things. One is be very diligent about the actual costs. Not, and you'll get that FAFSA sheet that says, here's what our estimated costs and all that. Watch every dollar just like you do in your home budget, because it can balloon on you. And have hard conversations with your daughter about she has to work for spending money, or she has to work for laundry money, or whatever those things are. Have very firm conversations. And remember this, there's an entire industry based on parent guilt when it comes to college choice.
Yeah.
And it's like Dave said, except they get a bunch of cool, attractive young people who will take young people to the Bentley lot and then talk about and drive them around and give them a great experience. And then they'll send the kid back to mom and dad and say, Mom, if you loved me, you'd get me this car, right? And you guys screwed up and didn't handle your business right. This is the car I should be driving. This is what everyone's going to drive to get to where we're going to go. I need you to know that you're being preyed upon. Don't fall victim to that. KSU is a great college. Your kid can do great things from that school, but go in with a firm plan and don't buy into any of that guilt nonsense, okay?
Yeah, so we're watching stuff like the cafeteria plan.
Yeah.
What's it cost? What's it entail? And, oh, by the way, if we're going to get the one where you eat there all the time, you're going to eat there all the time, kiddo.
And have a hard conversation. I had this with a buddy of mine recently who's a physician whose kid was about, almost going to lose a scholarship. Have the conversation now. If you lose your scholarships, you will come home. You will go to community college. Have all that now so it's not drama later on down the road. So everybody's clear, right? And that lack of clarity is what got you here in the first place. So let's do something different this time.
Real detailed plan. We'll send you a copy of the book, Debt-Free Degree, that'll show you how to walk through it. And I recommend you sit down with your teen and your spouse and watch Borrowed Future tonight.
Yes.
It's the documentary that we did on student loan debt and how epic, out of control, stupid it is. And it's several 100,000 people have viewed it. You can watch it on Google Play or Apple TV or on Amazon Prime. Easy enough. You can just rent it for the night. It's like $3, whatever the documentaries are right now, $3.99, whatever it is. And so you can watch it. John's is featured in it as one of the people, and it'll scare the bejesus out of you about student loan debt and cause you to really focus on this plan. And so, yes, you can cash flow this, but it's all about choices.
Yeah.
It's all about choices, and it's all about choosing to be a grown-up. We are not paying for a degree in beer pong. You are going there to study, pass your dadgum classes, show up to class. There's an amazing correlation between people that show up to class and those that pass.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Amazing correlation. Those that follow the syllabus that graduate in 4 years, because it's all laid out.
Yeah.
And the classes are all available for you to graduate in 4 years. They're all right there.
Nobody tricks you.
You just have to go checkbox, 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 checkbox. You are managing a project, and this project is 4 years long, and this is what we're going to do. And I'm not. That doesn't sound very fun. This ain't about fun, darling. Yeah. This is about getting your education.
Yep.
You can, if you want fun, join a country club. Go to the fair. This is not about fun.
Go to the fair because it's suddenly 1808, right? Hey kids,
go to Universal. I don't care. But hey kids, go to the fair.
Let's go to
Let's play. Let's take the cow.
They
and
do
have
have funnel cakes in the
the
little goldfish toss.
1808. 1808. You have been to the fair, and you were not even thought of in 1808.
I love the fair,
All
man.
right, then shut up.
I saw Merle Haggard at the fair. I love it.
Leave me alone.
Funnel cakes.
I saw Merle Haggard.
I did.
I saw Merle Haggard at the Home Depot, but that doesn't mean anything. Oh, all right. So that's the thing. It's all about choice. John has a PhD in higher ed, so he actually knows how to answer these questions. And that's one of the reasons he was interviewed. He was actually interviewed before he was a Ramsey personality for that documentary. And that documentary is blown up. It is causing a holy ruckus. There are some people in higher ed not happy with Ramsey. because we kind of told the truth about what a screw job some of this is. And certainly the people at Sally Mae and Navient don't like us because we exposed their misbehavior. We also called Congress a bunch of fools, but we've been doing that for 20 years, so that ain't nothing new. They don't care.
I think it's good to point out, like this father here.
Yeah.
You will pay for it at some point. You'll pay for it by when they're young and you're putting money away for college, or you're going to not be able to pay your house off in baby step 6 because you're going to cash flow college if that's what you choose to do. But it's going to cost you at one end of the spectrum or the other. So if you can plan for it ahead of time, it's kind of like Christmas. Every year people are surprised. Oh gosh, I didn't save for Christmas.
Move it.
You're right. Your kid's going to turn 18. Have a plan. Start having that conversation. It's going to happen.
And we had the conversation about a lot of things, like where you're going to go to school. And, you just want to go because you went there. No, it's not because I went there. I mean, you can go to another in-state school if you want to.
I'm just paying for that one. Yeah.
But, any of them that are in-state, I'll pay for.
Yeah.
But in-state tuition. But, one of them thought they were going to go across the county line down here into another state. It was $14,000 more a year. And I'm like, who's paying for that? They're like, well, so what's no difference? It's just they're both a school.
Yeah.
You're going to the one up here that's cheaper. This is not a hard conversation here. Gee. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today as we talk about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Your mental health, your relationships, your job, your career, your money, it's all a possible subject. So back in the fall, we aired for the first time the premiere airing of the first full-length major documentary that Ramsey Networks has done. It's called Borrowed Future. And Borrowed Future is all about the incredible ripoff, how student loans are killing the American dream, the incredible ripoff, the epic failure of the student loan program. In that documentary, we interviewed all kinds of experts, from Seth Godin to Seth Frotman. Dr. John Deloney was interviewed before he was a Ramsey personality. Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs interviewed. Of course, I'm interviewed. And we had several different people who were saddled with different levels of student loan debt that were featured. Then we showed their personal stories as a part of the program. Amari Simmons was one of the ladies, one of the people that was featured on the documentary, and she at that time was still a student at the University of Tennessee and had piled up some student loan debt. And she came by to visit today, to tour the studios and to tour the building and see everything. She had never been here. We had gone down to Knoxville, our crew had, to film with her and to meet her down there. And so we all felt like we all knew her because we'd watched her on the big screen so many times in the edit room, and then later finally in the premiere and everything else. So it's good to get to hang out with her today. She came by and I said, well, if you're coming by, we're going to sit and talk for a minute and talk about Borrowed Future with Dr. John Deloney. Welcome, Amari.
Hi, thank you.
It is so good to have you. Thanks for visiting us.
Of course.
So tell us, tell the folks out there that maybe have not seen Borrowed Future yet about the student loan debt that you got into and how that occurred.
So you want me to give number amount?
I don't care, whatever you want. Whatever you want to do.
So I had about $13,000 in student loan debt, and that was including scholarships for my 4 years. So that just happened because my family, I'm from a single parent home. So simply, she just couldn't afford to put me through college on her own salary. So pushed for scholarships, and I did get a full ride scholarship to the University of Tennessee, but about after like a year into my sophomore year, I had lost the scholarship because of grades. I didn't really know how to study, so I wasn't really prepared for the rigor of college. And University of Tennessee is pretty rigorous, even though it's a public university. It's not the easiest, but I just wasn't set up in a way where I knew how to balance life as an adult, and then now college and grades. And my major at the time, I was a biology major. Switched it. Thank the Lord for that. So at the time, it was difficult for me. It was adjusting while also trying to live up to the expectation that I have to get through school, I have to get a degree, I have to make money. You know, I have to live this life that adults tell you should be living. You know. So
where did you hear this idea that you had to go to college? If you want to be successful,
honestly.
if you want to be successful, just been told that all your life.
Yeah, in school, it's kind of like that's what the focus was. You know, you're getting good grades so you can go to college, so you can get into college. You know, the focus was ACT. You're always having to do ACT prep, take the ACT, take the ACT, take the ACT. What is the ACT used for? To get into college. You know, so that was the focus. And you're spending your whole life as a kid in school.
You brought up something so important. You said, I got there and I had this big fancy scholarship. I didn't understand as an 18-year-old the weight of that scholarship and what that all meant. And suddenly I'm thrown into class with some classes, a couple hundred people are in these classes. And I didn't have the study skills. When I back up and I think we're just writing blank checks to 18-year-olds and say, make good choices, right? Millions and millions and millions of us didn't get great coaching with how to do that, right? What do you walk us through? I'm 18. I'm kind of having unlimited everything, and I'm not prepared for unlimited everything.
I mean, it just feels like, well, in high school, getting good grades, it was easy for me.
Right.
But also, the challenge of my high school coursework was not challenging. So it was easy for me to get A's.
Gotcha.
You know, I consider myself smart, but we didn't really have to dig deeper into understanding what it is that you're actually learning and then applying it to other things, which is the bulk of college.
It's college, right?
Yeah. You're not just memorizing something and now you're having to write it down on a test. You're having to apply what you learn. And so,
which is a whole different skill set, right?
Yeah. And so in high school, I personally just don't feel like I was prepared for that. And then going to a university like Tennessee is huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's huge.
You get lost.
You have a lot of distractions if you don't know how to label distraction from something that's a resource.
Gotcha.
You know, so you get involved because that's the next thing you want to do. You get involved. You want to form a community. You want to be a part of something. You want to have belonging. So you join all of these different things. Now realizing, I still have to study for class. I have a test on Friday, but now I have all these other responsibilities that come along with being in organizations.
Now you've graduated now, and the debt is paid off.
Yes.
Way to go! Congratulations! So proud for you. Proud of you. Well done. And you've got the degree in what?
Child and Family Studies.
Child and Family
Bachelor's
Studies.
of Science.
Right. Yeah. Good. And so you're out. You've been out of school now. How long?
For like 2 years.
Yeah. It sneaks up on us.
Years, yeah.
It was like 3 years ago. We were shooting some of that footage. Yeah. I think you were a senior when we were down there shooting that. If I remember.
No, not yet. I was like a junior.
Okay. All right. Way back there then. Okay. Cool. Very cool. So now that you're out and the student loan is behind you, one of the things you said real quickly was in the documentary, you said it's not fair or it's not right that it's so normalized. It's like everybody has one, and I think the phrase was something like, you know, if you meet a perfect stranger, we can talk about student loans. Something's wrong if we all have that in common.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the normalization of that. I mean, so you didn't think anything about taking out the loan at the time just because everybody did it?
No, not really. I mean, I did, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, you kind of don't have a choice, so it doesn't really matter that intuitively you're against it. You know, it's like, this is what you need to do if you want to meet the goal that you set for yourself, which is to break chains and set a different path for not only you, but your future family and your present family, you know?
Very cool. Amari Simmons, we're honored to have you with us. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Permanent member of the Ramsey family. You come by anytime and hang out. The documentary is Borrowed Future. It's available to watch right now on Apple TV, Amazon Prime Video, Google Play, or you can go to borrowedfuture.com and watch it. Hundreds of thousands already have. No teenager should be walking around without having seen this. It is the antidote for anyone wanting a student loan. You'll never want one if you see this documentary. Thanks for dropping by, Amari.
You're welcome.
This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at betheltech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's betheltech.net/Ken Coleman.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. His new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, is on pre-sale at RamseySolutions.com. You really ought to get it for $20 because you get a couple of $100 worth of items thrown in when you do that. You really don't want to miss out on this. Mike is with us in St. Louis. Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I'm just going to give you a rundown of my situation. My wife and I are both 35 years old. We make about $125,000 a year combined. We both have great jobs, a very stable income. We no other debt, thanks to you. Debt free. We have about $80,000 in cash right now, in liquid cash in the bank. 2 kids, 1 on the way, coming in July.
Yay!
And, yeah. So, but we, since the start of the pandemic, actually right before everything shut down, we bought and sold, and then we bought and sold 2 more times since then. So,
wow. How come? Why'd you do that?
Well, we didn't plan on doing it. We just, the house that we first went to after we sold, it was one of those cookie cutter neighborhoods. Next door neighbor ended up having a pit bull in the backyard, and we didn't want our kids around that. And we just kind of saw what the prices were doing, so we sold it. Bought another one through a friend, an acquaintance. So it was a buy-owner home. But that one was also in another neighborhood we just weren't real satisfied with. We bought it just because it was cheap. Mm-hmm. So then we sold and then bought one more time, and now we're where we're at. But each time, obviously, we've gone up in home, and so the home we're in now costs $400,000. We put $10,000 down.
How much is your house payment?
House payment is about $2,100.
Okay. What's your question?
Well, I guess my question is do we have too much house? I feel comfortable with it. I know it's not within your guidelines right now with where we're at, but I feel like we can grow.
Actually, it should be. We tell people not to have a house payment more than a fourth of their take-home pay, and your take-home pay, not counting retirement coming out or health insurance coming out, but take-home pay after taxes, and your take-home pay ought to be $9,000 anyway.
It's about $7,500 because I'm a teacher, so I get I get a lot taken out for my pension.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your take-home pay after taxes, not after take-home pay with your pension, or take-home pay for your 401k, or take-home pay for your health insurance. That's not. We don't count that. I'm talking about your gross minus your taxes. Shouldn't be more than a fourth of that. Now, did you put this on a 15-year fixed?
We did not. It's on a 30, which I know is not the best, but
no,
it's on
not.
a 30 on 3%.
Yeah, and you need to get so you need to work to get it paid off as soon as you can. But no, you're not in over your head on house. I'll tell you what you are doing. Impulsing houses is straight up stupid. These 3 moves, very expensive. Very expensive. I mean, and so if you're going to buy a house, we find out what's in the backyard of the next door neighbor before we buy the house. If you're going to buy a house, there's a permanence to that you have to consider all the possible variables. You can't just go out for the weekend and come home with a new house.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet there's some anxiety issues, there's some marriage, there's something going on, there's some running happening, just ping-ponging back and forth, and being in house number 3 and already thinking, well, maybe I should, somebody...
The house is not going to make you happy.
No, it will not. In fact,
as a matter of fact, it'll make you sad. And so what you need to do is you need to sit your butt in that house and not move again. Mm-hmm. For a long time.
And then when you feel uncomfortable, you feel that itch, you feel the thing starting to rattle, deal with that.
Figure out what's causing the rattle, not the thing.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're jumping around, man. I mean, impulsing houses, woo, it'll get you.
And
especially in this kind of market.
Dave, I've had this in the new book. I've been there. Like,
you've impulsed houses?
I've impulsed, yeah, man. And it was covering up an internal thing that I was just, the machine was saying run.
Oh, and you're running.
I'm running from this rental house to that rental house to this, bought this house, sold this house, moved me and my wife to a residence hall on a college campus, trying to just frantic to do a thing without getting to the core issues. So I've been down that road before. Yeah, somebody there's running.
Megan's in Topeka, Kansas. Hey, Megan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, John. How you guys doing?
Good. What's up?
I need to talk to you guys about a stress that has been bothering me for about 5 years. I adopted my daughter back in 2017, my oldest daughter, and her biological mom kept her first Social Security card, and we got her Social Security number changed, and we got her last name changed. But when we went to the Social Security office, they told us that there was no guarantees that her biological mother couldn't take out a credit card or open up a loan on that Social Security number. And the lawyer that we had, he did everything he could to try and get it from her. She just wouldn't surrender.
Well, I mean, you can't guarantee the bank isn't going to get robbed by a crook.
Yeah.
And the birth mother's obviously, got major issues going on. She's a crook, potentially. That's what's scaring you. How old's the kid right now?
She's going to be 8 next month.
Good. Well, awesome.
That's great. Have you run a credit report on her?
I don't. Well, that was one of my questions. Is I didn't know if I was legally allowed to.
Sure, you're her parent.
Yeah, you're a guardian. Absolutely.
Okay.
The other thing you can do that you need to do is you need to freeze her credit.
Yeah, freeze the other credit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just need to know all the ways I can protect her.
Well, number one, you can't.
Yeah.
Completely.
Okay.
Because there's skunks in the world, and it's potential that her birth mother's a skunk. We don't know for sure, but there's a potential. That's why you're calling. But the things you can do is you can check it, make sure there's nothing on it. The second thing you can do is freeze it. Okay? Now, if you freeze it, what happens is if someone checks her credit in order to issue a debt, like a credit card, for instance, in her name, if they check her credit and it's frozen, they will not issue the debt. So birth mother uses old Social Security number, new Social Security number, new name, old name, whatever, and they check her credit and it's frozen, then the credit card will be denied. Here's the problem. Only 3 in 10 credit cards do they actually run a credit check on. They just automatically issue 7 of them. That's how dead people and dogs get cards. You can get a dog issued in your poodle's name.
Yeah.
And I mean, a card, they'll issue, because these credit card companies are stupid. They're because en masse it works out for them, and they're just running scale. They're running large numbers, and so they might still issue a card to the kid. So what I would do is I would go to Zander Insurance and I would buy identity theft on the family plan, and that includes coverage for your kids. It's not that expensive. Identity theft insurance protection, and what it'll do then is if someone, birth mother included, stole her identity and illegally opened a card in her name, then they would assign a counselor to that case and get it all removed and cleaned up for you. And that's why I carry it on me and my family.
Can I buy that even if she has coverage through my husband's work? Because I've been wanting to.
She has coverage for what? Through Zander Insurance?
Well, through LifeLock.
Well, LifeLock does not assign a counselor. They do not assign someone to take care of it for you.
Yes, I'd pay the money.
Yes, I would pay the money and go buy it from Zander, because LifeLock is just a monitoring service.
And take a breath. You did something noble and good, and it sounds like you're pre-worrying about things that might happen down the road.
Yeah.
Be present here. Be with your kid here. Things are good. Things are good.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, man. Parenting's hard enough as it is without imagining things that could happen.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is the Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America, as we talk about your relationships, your careers, and your money every day here on the Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Dean and Beth are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Wonderful, Dave.
Good to have you guys. Where do you live?
Simi Valley, California.
That's a bit of a haul to Nashville.
Yep.
Just a bit.
Well, welcome. We're all the way over here on the other side of the world to do a debt-free screen.
Yes,
How much
sir.
have you paid off?
We paid off just over $408,000, which includes the house.
Whoa!
And,
yeah, look at it, weird people!
Yeah. And while we did that, we cash flowed both of our sons through college. That was just about $83,000.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Pretty cool. And how long did this take you?
Almost 12 years.
All right. Very good. And your range of income over that decade plus?
It started about 105, but I didn't work for a whole lot of that time, and now I am working. So right now I don't know what we're at right now,
just under 200,000.
Okay. All right. Good. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a program manager for the Department of Navy.
and I'm a staff accountant at Johnny and Friends.
Oh, wow. Johnny's a friend.
Yeah.
Johnny and Friends are friends. Yeah, and Ken, too. How are they doing?
They're doing very well. I actually just saw them last Friday.
Oh, cool. We'll give her a hug for us. We love her. And him as well. So, hey, good to have you guys. So, what started you on this journey 12 years ago?
I'm going to try not to cry. So Christmas 2008, I had bought him a computer part that he wanted that I didn't understand at all, and it apparently ended up being the wrong part. So when he went to call to exchange it, the credit card got denied. And so he went, it's like I knew he had a lot of credit card debt, but I never totaled it up. But he got into the filing cabinet, pulled out all the bills, totaled it up, and went, we have to figure out what we're doing. And so I thought we were getting a divorce. And then our church offered FPU. And about week 7, he looked at me and he said, so when we retire, and it was the first time I went, okay, this is an us thing. But I mean, we'd done all of the budgeting and everything like that and had the conversations, but it was when he said that when we retire, I was like, okay, we're good.
We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were handling the whole thing by yourself?
Yes, she was, Dave.
Yeah.
Yep.
And carrying all of that, and it wasn't working, and you knew it wasn't working, but you never said anything.
I didn't know how to.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Understand.
That was $110,000 of unsecured debt.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Mostly credit cards.
Credit cards and 2 car loans.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we dug ourselves a really deep hole.
Okay. And you're just going off making money, coming home, and never even thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought with an engineering degree and she had a finance degree, we got to be doing all right. And turns out we were far from it.
Yeah. So when you get that filing cabinet out, were you afraid or angry or both?
I really didn't know what to expect. That's how unplugged I was with our finances.
When you got it all out and figured out what was going on.
I was terrified. I had no idea what to do. Yep. And so, as Beth said, our church was offering FPU. I kept hearing the commercials every Sunday and just thought, well, that's not for us. And so when I saw this, I said, well, I think it was about $100 at the time.
Yep.
What's another $100 when you're $110,000 in debt? So we figured we'd give it a shot.
It still, by the way, is $100. Inflation, hasn't affected FPU, right? Everything else has doubled.
And I love
Think about how much your house went up and gas went up. FPU still the same price.
Yes, sir.
12 years ago.
Yes, sir.
I love also, most would call those church announcements, but I love how you said, I was listening to the commercials.
Yes. Yes.
What church?
Stonebridge Community Church.
Yeah, okay, cool. Wow, you guys.
So you went week 1.
We went week 1.
And how did that feel?
Awkward, right? We didn't know what to expect. Had never heard anything about you or Financial Peace University.
This hillbilly running up and down the stage screaming at you.
Yes, sir.
Well, and I've been doing budgets for years, just never a zero balance budget. Even working for a church, we never did a zero balance budget.
Right.
And so it was like, well, it can't hurt. Until we had our first budget meeting.
Yeah, so how'd that go?
It hurt a little?
That was a long afternoon. That was a very long afternoon.
Yeah.
That's the most military statement I've ever heard.
Sharon and I, man, we had a knockdown drag out that day. That was a long day, our first one. Woo! It was not pretty. It was neither one of us were nice.
But a hillbilly says it was a knockdown drag out, and a military man says it was a long afternoon.
It was a very long afternoon. Yes. Yep. And so I did what I usually do and started making a spreadsheet, and it's ridiculously sophisticated today, but it's got retirement tabs, and it's got the boys' college tab when they were in school, and it's got annual tab and a monthly tab, and macros and buttons, and then when it doesn't work, she just calls me, and I walk her through some fix.
So we live in a culture that most people quit their New Year's resolutions within 45 days of the new year.
Yes, sir.
You guys have been doing this over a decade.
Yeah.
What kept y'all going?
It was difficult.
Facilitating classes, actually.
Yes.
Every year we would help facilitate a class, and it was like taking it again. And we'd always hear something new. So it was like, I think we were talking about it, and it wasn't until like the third one where we really listened to the insurance lesson and finally called the insurance company and said, hey, let's have a discussion.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, we struggled with so much debt. We knew that debt wasn't going to be measured in months. And so I need to have little victories just so I can stay motivated.
That's right.
And so by facilitating classes, that was a big help. And then we would set up little mini milestones. I mean, the baby steps helped, but when you got 110,000, you're on that baby step for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so we would just set little milestones of, we'd get the debt down to $50,000, and we would go do a humble dinner, but just go out to celebrate. And so we had all these little milestones that were just barely out of reach, but enough that kept us motivated and kept us challenged.
The breadcrumbs.
Yes, sir.
All the way through.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like it impacted your marriage too.
Hugely. So we were married for we got married in 90. We did this in 2009. So it's at 19 years. And we would have the financial arguments with money until February February 2009. And Dave, I can tell you that we have never argued once about money since then.
Wow. Once you got past that first budget committee meeting.
we would be frustrated with the numbers, but our frustration was focused on that spreadsheet, was focused on the zero balance budget, never with each other. So it was figuring out how to do what we wanted to do with the money we had, knowing that it has to sum to zero at the bottom of the page.
So, Beth, I'm looking at you.
Okay.
You're still carrying this as though this happened yesterday, right?
Some parts of it,
yes. And so here's the thing. Your story, nothing is wasted. The journey you and your husband have been on will inspire millions who are in your exact same situation listening to this driving down the road, and your bravery over the last decade will heal marriages. You're not only change your family tree, you're going to change other family trees. And so when we leave Nashville today, this story, this pain that you're carrying with, you set that down here and it stays here. Fair?
Fair.
All right, I'm proud of you. You're such a gift. It's so cool.
It's already changed the next generation. Our sons, we taught, one of the years we taught foundations also at the church.
Oh, wow.
And both of them are debt-free and out of college. During the pandemic, finished school and ended up getting to get full-time jobs and moved out. My older son actually came to me as he was looking at apartments with his laptop and said, "Okay, here's my budget. What do you think?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna."
This is how you make some moms cry.
That's right.
He's responsible. He's not going to live in the basement. Yeah, this is great.
Well done, y'all.
You guys are amazing. I'm so proud of you. Well done. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story. You're on your way if you're not already there. How ordinary people built extraordinary wealth. How you can too. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream. $408,000 paid off in 12 years.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah, baby! Boom! Just like that. Love it.
Cool.
This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is the Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us. As we're talking with the last couple on the Debt-Free Scream during the commercial break, they shared with us, which I should have asked them when they were on the air. I goofed. But they're with their retirement plans and with the paid-for house, their net worth is $1.67. Wow. So they go from 12 years ago opening the filing cabinet. She's afraid he's going to divorce her when he discovers how bad a mess they've made. He takes ownership of the fact he had not helped. She takes ownership of the fact she shame-based and didn't bring all the mess forward. Yeah. And together they go into the Financial Peace University class. They keep facilitating the class throughout the years. They get everything paid off, $110,000 worth of consumer debt, plus a house in Simi Valley, California.
And a couple of kids through college.
And a couple of kids through college who are all responsible and doing their own budget with their computer and showing it to mom and all that. $408,000 paid off in 12 years. But in the midst of that, they followed the baby steps exactly, so they are truly baby steps millionaires.
Yeah.
That's quite a turnaround. I mean, this goes from a negative net worth to 1.67 in 12 years.
And I've never heard of all the debt-free screams I've been a part of. I've never heard somebody, because $100,000 in unsecured debt, staggering. That's a huge credit card bill, right?
Well, it's credit card and cars.
Right.
Yeah.
But the psychology is right. You got to have little wins to make progress in anything, right? That's depression 101. That's anxiety. You got to have little wins.
That snowball. Yeah.
Right. But you know what they did? They served. So they led classes for the little wins. And so that meant that other people were getting their little credit card here paid off, and they were registering that as we're contributing. And we often get stuck staring in our own mirrors at our own belly buttons, wondering about me, poor me, poor me. Service is one of the great things you can do to get out of yourself and get those little wins. With being around other people that are winning keeps you moving forward.
Well, get out of yourself is the trick.
Yeah.
Because
what a great idea.
We're taught by so many things in this toxic culture to gaze inward.
Just think about it over and over.
Just gaze inward, navel gazing, to the point that you can think your way through something. Right. And sometimes you just need to get up off your butt and go help somebody.
Go do, yes.
Go mow somebody's grass. I mean, go clean out their gutters. I mean, go teach a financial peace university class while you're broke.
What? Yes.
And while you're working it, and so you're relatable to the people that are in there when you're the coordinator.
That's right.
You're not above them somehow. So many things are taught by people who are above it.
Right.
And that's really one of the big things about the whole Ramsey brand is we're not above anything. We're right there with you.
That's exactly
right. Maybe we're mathematically above where you are, but we have been right where you are.
That's right.
And you get there. So that's a big deal. But those quick wins, those small wins, that loop is a big deal.
That's service, yeah. Good for you guys.
Yeah, I'm taking those who are first will be last. Those who are last will be first. Cody's with us in Charlotte. Hey, Cody, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, can you hear me, Dave?
Absolutely. What's up?
Hey, man, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
So I have a bit of a situation I was wanting your opinion on. I'm a real estate agent. I have been for about a year now, and I wasn't making. I made okay money last year, but we just found out we have a baby coming in September. So I was wanting to try to save up a little bit of money for the baby, and I took a part-time job at Lowe's. I just got accepted for that. And I was wanting your opinion about if I should continue doing real estate part-time and try to stack some cash doing that, even though it's really, commission-based. There's a chance I might not make a lot of money, or if I should go full-time with a 9-to-5 and try to stack money that way.
You do not have a full-time job now?
No, sir. I just started part-time. Because
when did you start the real estate business? 1 year ago?
Yes, sir.
How much have you made?
Last year I made
$33,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many houses do you have listed right now?
Well, I have 3 houses and 1 lot, one vacant lot.
Okay. What did you make the second 6 months, not the first 6 months?
Well, my first 6 months was better than my second because my mom is a broker in charge, so I kind of tagged along on some of her transactions, which I realized I made 16 off of her alone from helping her out. So that's what kind of got me nervous about this coming up year. So
how old are you?
6 months. I'm 30.
Okay. Well, it's a hot time to sell real estate. Why are you not selling real estate?
I don't know. I've been doing cold calls. I've been trying to do a lot of prospecting. So I'm not exactly sure if it's, what's going on as far as why it's not doing better. But I mean, it is my first year, so I didn't know if it was just that or what.
Well, there are people that flame out in the first year, and there are people that succeed amazingly in the first year, and those are lots of people in the middle in the first year. That's not unusual. But basically, you made $14,000 in the real estate business in 1 year. You haven't made any money.
And my realtor that walked us through our situation, which was just a regular old house purchase, and with a pain in the butt client who was me, I tell everybody about her. I want everyone to know about Amanda because she was incredible with my family, with my kids. There's a gap between, I'm concerned that you don't know, that you can't put your finger on it. If you ask me how I can get better at my job that I'm in right now, that I'm still learning, I'm still a baby at this, I know because the guys tell me, and we keep track of that stuff. I'm concerned that you're just like, well, I don't know, I'm just making some call. You've got to have a couple of concrete things. Have you sat down with your mom and asked her, what am I not doing?
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue I was having was prospecting, and that's how I got the leads that I have now. I started my prospecting up a lot stronger in December of last year. So throughout the past 2 months, I got all the listings I have now through prospecting.
Oh, that's good.
So I kind of buckled down on that.
Okay, so we at least have a good trend line now. Okay, so you got because listings are money in the bank in your world. If you've listed the property properly at a proper price in this market, it's getting ready to turn into money. It's going to sell.
Yes, sir.
It's going to sell. So all the listings you can get are that's money in the bank. That's just making a deposit. You just can't make the withdrawal quite yet. So, but if your prospecting if you've gotten more business on the books in the last 60 days than you did the entire year before that, then we're on to something, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it sounds like you need to double your prospecting one more time.
Okay.
I want you to become a prospecting machine. And you can make a lot more doing this than you can working part-time at Lowe's.
Dave, let me ask you this. How many people get into the real estate business and they flip over a napkin and they do the math? If I sell this many houses, I'll make this much money, and underestimate the work it takes to sell a house?
All of them.
Okay. Okay. All
Everybody.
right.
It's like any business you go into. You think it's going to take twice as long as you think it's going to. It's going to cost twice as much as you think it's going to, and you're not the exception. These are the 3 rules of business, and it goes over and over and over again. You know,
I've never heard those.
But the the rule in the real estate business is the problem in the real estate business is you're self-employed,
right?
And there's nobody leaning over you going, you hadn't made your 300 calls this week.
Mm-hmm.
I was with one of our marketing teams this morning looking at some stuff, and they said, these guys are doing 300 calls. I'm going, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
There's no exception for activity. Listen, man, so what you've got to remember, Cody, in your situation is if you're not kneecap to kneecap, eyeball to eyeball, or digitally through email or telephone, talking to someone about buying or selling a piece of real estate, if you're not doing that, any moment you're not doing that, you are unemployed.
I like that.
You're not in the real estate business. You're just unemployed. You're just an unemployed guy. And in the real estate business, I call them donut eaters because they would sit around the office, eat donuts, and whine about the economy and the president instead of getting up off their butt, leaving the cave, killing something, and dragging it home. But it's all about activity. It's all about prospecting in your case, Cody. So, yeah, turn that up. And if that doesn't work in 90 days, you may need to go do something else. But I think it's going to. I think you figured out what was going on. I think you haven't been disciplined about your marketing. And if you turn that up to a high octane level, you should be fine.
Get it, Cody.
Get it.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today as we talk about your relationships, your mental health, your boundaries, your career, your work, and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. Anthony's with us in Phoenix. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Good, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I was calling today to get some advice on whether or not I should sell my truck to get out of debt faster. So to tell you a little bit about the truck, it's you might, Dave, I think personally understand the feelings that I have about this as a Ford Raptor. However, I would like to know if I should sell the truck to get out of debt faster, or if I should pay it off, which by my calculations I should be able to do within the next year.
What do you owe on it?
I owe $55.
And what's your household income?
Household income is $150 a year.
Okay. What's the other car? Are you married?
I'm not.
Okay, so single
And it's
guy.
the only vehicle.
Single guy making $150, the only vehicle you own, and apparently it's one of the few debts you have.
Right.
Okay. Our rule of thumb is if you have a vehicle that's in question, if it is that all of your vehicles added together, anything with wheels and motors or motors added together should be less than half your annual income, and you should be able to be debt-free, not counting your house, within 2 years of the time you start your debt snowball. If it's going to take longer than that and it's the car's fault, or if the car is more than cars or boats or Sea-Doos or their sisters are more than half the annual income, then we start pairing off the junk that has motors and wheels and so forth. So your car is less than half your annual income. You can be debt-free in under 2 years. There's no reason to sell it.
Okay.
That does not mean I would
reason
go
why
into debt to buy it originally, but now that you find yourself there, get it paid off.
Or Anthony, I've got a deal for you. I have an 06 Tundra. I'll trade you straight up. That's just because I love you.
That's why he's here. He's here to help you, Anthony.
That
He
sounds
got
like a
up
deal.
this morning and said, I'm here for the people and the fans of the show. And I really, John, that was big-hearted of you.
I appreciate you noticing that. I have a huge heart for people who've gotten themselves in hard situations.
You have missed the sarcasm font on that email, brother. Way to go, Anthony. Yeah, keep the truck, baby. Keep the truck. Danny's in Syracuse. Hi, Danny. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. I've enjoyed your practical advice over the past few years, and now would like a little bit of your insight into comprising a will.
Okay.
Specifically, the will basically has several beneficiaries. Most of them, or all of them, rather, are financially responsible except for one. Very irresponsible. The only thing they've learned is to use a credit card and have dad come in and pay it. That's a recipe for collecting the inheritance and starting the fast clock from $700,000 to broke. So, I've heard you suggesting on your show about the Financial Peace University as a requirement. How can that be done? And specifically, with the entire course, is there like a practical way on having it be an ongoing participation, making that a requirement?
Well, yeah, you can just take them out of the will until they behave.
Yeah, you sound like you have to leave them in there. Why do you have to leave them in there?
You don't.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with this. Let's start with this.
Someone
Okay.
will learn.
There you go. Yeah, it's a fantasy.
Here's the thing: an inheritance is not an entitlement. You are not entitled to an inheritance. You are not obligated morally, ethically, biblically to leave your money to anyone in particular. Now, in our house, we're people of faith, and to mismanage your life, meaning the steward, the management of your life, including your money, is, you're supposed to be managing your life for God. You're managing your life as Christians. We're going to manage God's money. And if you can't manage God's money, I'm duty bound to not give it to you, to mismanage from my perspective as a steward, number one. But number two, it's not going to be a blessing to this person. It's going to bring them harm, because when you get money, it magnifies the good and the bad in your life. So it's not about Financial Peace University, and it's not about being a control freak. It's about putting your arm around this child and saying, gosh, I don't want to hurt you. I love you too much to hurt you. And so I'll walk with you as you learn these skills that you've yet to learn. But until you learn them, I'm not going to be able to leave you anything. You're opting out. You're choosing by your misbehavior to not be in the will.
Which I agree with. It's unfortunate it's not my child. I guess the heartstrings are pulling a little bit because he's has some severe health issues and will need some good insurance. And once his parents die,
whose child is it?
He's not. This is a nephew, my nephew, and his parents are just as irresponsible as him financially.
How old is he?
22.
Okay.
Have you taken him out and y'all two just talked for a while?
Tried. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
What did that sound like? What did that sound like?
Well, when you got the parents on the other end, I mean, they'll agree with everything you say, but when you got the parents on the other end, just handing cash like it grows on trees, it's a hard battle to win.
Who's convinced you that this is your problem to solve? Why have you taken this on? You've inserted yourself. You've inserted yourself into their family. Do you feel guilty that you've made a lot of money?
No, not at all.
Okay. Something about the situation, you've inserted yourself into your brother or your sister's family and taken it upon yourself that it's your responsibility to save their errant child. I want to free you from that, man.
Yeah, it's not on your list of things to do. What I would do if it was my nephew and I wanted to leave him money to help him because he has health problems, but I think he has bigger problems than health problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
I think he's got character issues that supersede his health problems and may actually add to them. I don't know what his health problems are, but it may make them worse or aggravate or exasperate the situation or whatever it is. But I'm just going to sit down with him and I'm going to go, hey, I'm your old ugly rich uncle. You ever heard the parable of the rich uncle? I'm him. I'm the guy. That's me. And so, everybody wants one. Well, you got one. Ta-da! And so, if you want, I would love to be a blessing in your life, but I cannot do that until you learn to behave with money. If you'll let me walk along beside you, I'll kick your little butt and I will hug you into learning how to do this life thing and money thing right. But if you don't, not say it, I'm not care about what you say. If you don't do it, then I can't leave you money in the will. But I'd like to be the guy that coaches you up and takes you through this and puts you in Financial Peace University, and you and I talk about it, and I see the fruit in your life, but you being in the will is dependent on that. You can opt out of this by your behavior, you can opt into this with your behavior. It'll be your choice. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. The housing market is hot, hot, hot. So your house could be worth a lot more today than it was when you bought it. And that means your old insurance policy might not give you enough coverage anymore. And what's the point of paying for insurance that won't cover the cost to repair or rebuild your home? Yeah, you've got a stated amount on your insurance policy. It may cover a little bit more than that. But if your house is suddenly worth $700,000 and your policy's $500,000, you is screwed if it burns. So you've got to keep your policies updated. And you have to get them raised and so that they can raise the prices on them. That's how they do it. Some automatically raise your coverage a little bit, but most of them don't. So you need to get with one of our endorsed local providers and shop your insurance. They will shop around among a bazillion companies, get you the best possible deal. This is why we call them Ramsey Trusted. They're independent insurance brokers, and they'll get you a deal. Go to RamseySolutions.com/home to talk with a trusted home insurance pro in your area. Home insurance ELP, endorsed local provider that's Ramsey Trusted. RamseySolutions.com/home. Our question today comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping. New promos they run every month. You'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from John in California. John writes, my wife and I are approaching 60 and have been married for 30 years. She's had a gambling problem since we got married, and it's getting progressively worse. She keeps promising to quit, but every month spends thousands of dollars on her hobby.
Hobby?
I'm just going to underline that one.
Just mark that number, yeah. All right.
She has a job but never uses her income toward our family expenses. To add to the mess, we had a daughter that I believed to be mine until she had a DNA test that showed we are not related. So in a nutshell, our marriage is a long-term sham. At this point, I have zero interest in finding a different wife, so I see two possible paths. I'll go ahead and mark that one. We can either divorce and split our net worth, with me possibly getting strapped with alimony payments for the rest of my life, or I can put up with her nonsense of slowly bleeding down our savings and investments. From a practical point of view, it may be quote-unquote cheaper to keep her, but I'd still have to deal with the mental mess. What would you do in my situation?
John, you are a freaking tragedy.
Wow, it's like a country song. It's like two country songs.
And, I love how you just completely painted yourself into the corner, and there's only two possible scenarios out of this, and both of them you die.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
It's like...
I'm going to starve to death or have a psychotic break.
Yeah, I'm going to absolutely lose my mind, or we're going to be cheaper to keep her, and I'm going to tolerate it. You are making an excuse for tolerating this all these years because you hadn't manned up and dealt with the problems in the last 30 freaking years.
Every home is built with a door on it, John. Every home. And if somebody's lying to you about whether your kid, they're stealing, good grief. Yeah, you got to deal with this ASAP. And going to get me all fired up, Dave.
You need to answer the question.
Here's the question. Number one, a gambling problem is an addiction, not a hobby. Stop painting it with this milquetoast, wet toast language. It's an addiction. You're married to someone who is struggling with an addiction. Number two, she has a job, but she never uses her income towards her family expenses.
That's your fault.
Correct. Number three, we have a daughter that I believe to be mine. My marriage is a long-term sham. Maybe. But if it is, it's because you've participated in this long-term sham. Okay? I want you to look in the mirror on this.
None of this is new information.
Correct. At this point, we have zero interest in finding a different wife. That is completely irrelevant to the point that you are worth more than living in a home where somebody is using you as toilet paper. Stop. Nonsense. You don't have to be interested in finding a different wife. You can be interested in preserving your dignity, taking care of your mental and physical health, and helping your wife not deal with her hobby, but possibly get help because she's ill. Should we continue?
Mm-hmm.
You can divorce. I'm never going to tell somebody to get divorced, but this is a mess. You've been cheated on. Someone's liquidating your money. You need to go see an attorney and or a marriage counselor today, is what I'm saying. This is a mess.
Here's the thing. People do stupid butt stuff.
Absolutely.
That are harmful to other people. And if it happens to you once, shame on her.
Yep.
Happens to you twice, happens to you 3 times, happens to you 4 times, shame on you.
Happens to you over 30 years since we got married.
Shame on you for not dealing with it.
Right.
And so Dave Ramsey shaming someone. Oh, brother, you dadgum snowflakes. But the deal is this. It is your fault that you haven't dealt with this before now.
Correct.
And you act like you're somehow stuck. You're not stuck.
No, that's the title of my new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. Thanks for the underhand pitch here, John from California. You've got to own what is. And what is you've allowed yourself to participate in somebody else's illness or their addiction or their bad behavior, whatever you want to call it, for 30 years.
So tell me, John, on this. What I read is this lady is messed up, and he's almost as messed up as she is.
Yes.
So it's hard for me to be hopeful that both of them can come around.
She has, why would she change her life? Her life is fantastic.
She gets to do whatever she wants.
Whatever she wants.
Whenever she wants.
With no consequence.
And he just looks at it.
She lives in a rent-free home.
He just whines and bitches.
Someone else pays her food and what?
But never does anything about it. Yeah. So here's the deal. I mean, in other words, he can come in tomorrow and, with the help of a counselor, say we're going to go to a marriage counselor, and in order for me to stay, here's what has to happen. Right. An ultimatum. Yep. Okay. No more gambling. Yep. And your money becomes our money. And anything that looks or smells anything like infidelity, and we're done. Right. I mean, these are non-negotiables. He could come in tomorrow, and then she could say, "Oh, you're right. After 30 years of doing it this way, I'm just going to stop tomorrow." Right.
Probably not. Right. But here's what is going to happen. It's not a matter of him saying, well, then I guess I have to do this. What he has to do is draw boundaries, and then she gets to choose, do I want to be in a relationship with him?
Yeah, and she's already chosen that, by the way.
That's for 30 years she has.
Yeah,
right.
That she doesn't.
That's right. So John, you got to start.
These are two lazy people. They're lazy in that they will not deal with their stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say intellectually, or they're just so traumatized.
Emotionally lazy, yeah. Whatever the reason is they're not dealing with their stuff, either one of them.
Yeah.
Is what I'm seeing. So, I mean, it's just good old boy stuff. But anyway, yeah, so that's what you are going to, if you asking us what to do, we would say you're going to sit down with a therapist and you're going to say these are the conditions under which I stay, or you're going to just say I'm calling it a day, click out, peace out, and get an attorney. And to presuppose that you're always going to pay alimony, you probably are after 30 years, but that also is a negotiation, and she probably wants free of you.
And let me say this, not tongue-in-cheek, John, you don't know what going to bed, just going to sleep feels like without medication. You don't know what it's like laughing from your guts anymore. You don't know what it's like to be with just a group of buddies and y'all are having a good time. You've lost that sense of joy. And what I would tell you is you're approaching 60. You got, 30 years left? You can choose from this point forward to make those 30 years the best 30 years of your 60, or you can choose to, this way. The point is, both paths are going to be hard. Choose which kind of hard you want. You want hard where you slowly drown, or you want hard where you slowly stand back up? You get to pick.
Yeah, because it is way past time to stand up, dude.
Stand up, John.
Way past time to stand up.
This breaks my heart, Dave. Yeah. How many couples in the United States live like this?
You know,
their roommates.
But I mean, people are so funny after they get clear. Their sense of humor comes back. Hey, one guy said, I got rid of $50,000 worth of debt, and I said, what'd you do? How'd you do that? And he goes, I divorced her.
Oh gosh, you need better friends.
Well, that's funny.
I know.
I don't care who you are. We're not recommending divorce. We're not glamorizing it, but that's funny. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Dylan is with us in Boston. Hi, Dylan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, what a pleasure. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So I am looking for some advice today. I am about $55,000 in debt. $30K is in student loans. $18 is my car loan, and I have a $5,000 personal loan I took out for a lower interest rate for my credit cards. Now, I'm pretty new to your baby steps program. I'm just getting up to speed on everything. I also have $100,000 of Parent Plus loans in my mom's name that she signed for my undergraduate at the time, and I'm looking for a plan to attack it. She doesn't make that much. She makes around $30,000 a year, and I just started a new job making $120,000 a year.
You're single?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what you're telling me is you feel for one reason or another, either by agreement with your mom or just by the fact that she can't deal with it, you feel obligated to pay the Parent Plus loans.
That's correct,
not
sir.
legally, but somehow morally or ethically.
Yes.
Have y'all talked about this?
From time and time again, I want to say every few months because it's been delayed with the COVID, and I know the payments are going to start up soon with the interest. So I'm trying to get into a conversation with her about it on our plan for it.
That's a lot of dancing around the question. Have you all sat down and said, I would like to take these Parent Plus loans, and so when they kick back up, I'm going to take the payment over?
So I guess not seriously, no.
Okay, all right. I'd have that conversation. That's an important conversation.
So your mom is single and makes $30,000 a year.
My mom's married, and so her and my dad make probably around 120. I'm not sure the exact number. I know it's over 100.
Okay. Why is your mom part of this discussion and not your dad?
He didn't sign on any of the loans. It was just her. It was just her and me at the time. And
no, you didn't sign them. They're Parent Plus loans.
Yes.
So your mother, with or without your father's knowledge, took out $100,000 to send her son to college.
That's correct.
Parents do that and generally pay it back. I don't know why your mom is saddled with this.
Yeah.
They have some kind of fractured relationship?
Is your dad choosing to not help her?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I think we're a little confused here. So my dad isn't in the picture. He's my stepfather.
Okay.
Who she's married to.
Okay. But he's not helping her with her debts. She said this is your debt that you deal with.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you're going to take it on, it simply goes in your debt snowball. And if you're going to sit down with the two of them and have a conversation that says, I make good money, I don't want to deal with this, but I don't see how you're going to be able to deal with this. I see it sinking you, and so I'm going to take the responsibility for it mathematically. You cannot take the legal responsibility for it. It's not legally ever going to be yours, okay? But you can just pay it. So you can start paying the payments, make it part of your budget, and then you do your debt snowball, and you list your debts smallest to largest, which means the last debt you're going to get to are these Parent Plus loans, which is really what it should be. I
throw one important caveat in here. Get the payment information and you pay the loan servicer directly.
Oh, yeah, you're not paying her.
Don't pay her.
You're not giving her any money. You're just taking over the loan.
Right.
You get the payment book or the payment password to the website, whatever it is, and you're going to make the payments. You're going to set it all up. And then when you get down to it, you're going to pay extra on it and get it done. You're going to pay it last for three reasons. One is it is not your debt. Two is it's your largest debt once you morally take it on, so it's at the bottom of your debt snowball. Three is if, God forbid, she should pass away, the debt is forgiven.
Right.
And you would not, she would not owe it anymore.
Okay. Now I have a follow-up question. Now, what is your confidence level in student loan forgiveness?
Zero.
We're zero. Okay. I know we're in an income-driven repayment.
You can tell politicians are lying when their mouth is moving.
I like that.
Here's the problem, Dylan. The problem with the student loan forgiveness is they haven't shut off the spigot yet.
If they continue to make student loans, it's intellectually dishonest to discuss forgiving the ones that are already in place while they continue to make them.
So student,
when they quit making them, then we can start having a discussion that it might be happening that they're going to forgive them. But if but they're not. Even those people up there, the island of misfit toys called Congress, even those guys are not so dumb that they're going to forgive willy-nilly all these loans everywhere and then turn around and keep making them and put everybody right back in.
And then fall semester rolls around and everyone's right back in.
Here we go. Let's go again. Another tree. And here we go. Everybody get in line. Get
That's
up
right.
to the trough, you piggies. No, it's not. That's not. Even they are not that stupid. So, no. You just got $120,000, $60,000 going into $155,000. So you got 3 years, 2.5 years of beans and rice and beans, and you can clear every bit of this, but you have no life during the next 2.5 to 3 years. No insight, so if you go on a date, it's going to be with a Frisbee at the park. I mean, it's not going to be, You got nothing, dude.
You go on a
cleaning
date,
up
it's
this mess.
with
If
a
you're taking this on, then you got to take it on. You got to treat it like, good. The good news is you make $120,000 as a young guy.
Yeah.
And so you got a good-sized shovel, and you can just tear your butt into this thing, and that's what you're going to have to do. You can knock out your debts pretty quick, and then you're going to hit the wall called mom's debts.
That's right. And do not, I don't care how bad things get, don't date a Frisbee. Don't. Just don't.
Take a Frisbee to the park on your date.
No, you said
not
go on
as
a
a
date
date
with a Frisbee.
Not as a date. I did not say go on a date with a Frisbee.
The cards and letters from this show.
John.
The cards and letters.
John. Oh, my gosh.
Don't date a Frisbee.
It's been a long day for you with the fair and the Frisbee.
We have other personalities back there if you don't want to swap them out with someone.
We got another personality.
Our heads are falling
Switch
off.
out. James says we're going to do a personality change at the break. Ready, NASCAR crew? Here we go. We're changing the engine.
I'm going to go outside and play with a Frisbee.
Yeah, probably a good idea. It's raining. Shannon's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What's up, Shannon?
Hey, guys. Nice to talk to you guys today. Looking really forward to getting some advice from you guys on this going into business question that's not a friend or family member. So nice to talk to you guys. So,
you too.
I'm 40 years old. Wife and I are high school sweethearts. Been married 21 years. We're in a great spot in our careers. We just, if we simply continue to follow the baby steps, we are well on our way to becoming baby step millionaires by the time we're retirement age. So it's great. Got a great corporate job, 401k match, pension, the whole nine. The issue is I feel somewhere down deep that I'm called to do more in life than sit at home each day behind a computer screen for the next 20 years. And I know I've got God-given talents in business and people skills that are not being utilized to their fullest. So I've got a few business opportunities that I'm staring at that are in front of me, but they require borrowing money to take the risk. And I've kind of got a twofold issue in front of me of, number one, do I risk what God's laid out for us over these several years and put us in place to be successful with?
How much money do you have?
How much money do we have?
Yes, sir.
We don't have a lot of reserve. We just finished baby step 3 not too long ago, and we're good there.
There are lots of businesses you can start without going into debt.
Okay. Should that be maybe the direction I look into instead of
as a side hustle?
And remember, God will never call you into something that violates your core, his own core principle.
That's probably what's turmoiling inside of me. Is it seems like I have to borrow, and it just goes against.
Nope.
It even sounds it doesn't even sound right in my heart. But every businessman you talk to and successful person, they say, well, you can't be successful.
No, they don't.
Risk,
no, you can't say that ever again, because you just talked to one that doesn't believe that. And I've talked to them all the time, every day. I've talked to debt-free guys all over this nation, debt-free gals all over this nation running businesses. So you're overstating that when you say every businessman. They don't. Now, maybe you just hadn't talked to the right ones yet. Maybe you're talking to high rollers or something, risk takers. But I'm going to tell you, don't borrow money to start a business. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 14:30, a heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Teddy Roosevelt said, if you could kick the person in the pants that's responsible for your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Well, that's the truth. So, John, there is a ship adrift that has been abandoned that has $438 million in total value of goods. It's on fire, and so the crew abandoned ship, massive freighter, and it's full of Volkswagens, Porsches, Audis, Bentleys, and Lamborghinis, and it's burning and drifting through the ocean with no one on it. they all got off and said, peace out.
I've had a lot of professional whoopsie-doos in my career, Dave. I can honestly say, oops, wow. Wow.
The guy that was having a smoke break next to one of those cars, and it just went up on him, and he went, Captain.
That's right.
Captain, we got to, whoops.
So the two guys were like, hey, you won't throw that over that thing, and I dare you.
I dare you. 100, like, this is,
that's unbelievable,
man. The vehicles alone are worth over $155 million, according to one consultant's estimate. Now, we need to get a consultant to estimate these. There's a dadgum manifest. There's a list of exactly what's on there. You don't really need to estimate them. You can just add up the value. It's like you should know what's on there. But anyway,
what a heartbreaking mess. Good grief.
It said they got 2 tugs with firefighting equipment expected to arrive today, Monday morning, which was yesterday for most people. No, that's today.
That's today, yeah.
I'm so confused.
Start spraying water.
I'm going to spray water. Oh, God. Oh, it's awful. And I gotta tell you, guys, there's a certain number of guys that,
and
they're trying to figure out how they can get.
Could I swim out here?
How I can get one of those Lamborghinis off of that boat?
Okay, I see what it says. So Volkswagen's going to lose $155 million, and the other car companies.
Volkswagen's insurance company.
Sure. Yeah. And then the other ones will lose about $250 million worth of cars. Wow. A lot of cars.
Volkswagen spokesman declined to comment because he can't breathe.
So, our word of caution to America: if you happen to be on Craigslist in a few months and someone offers you a great deal on Lamborghini,
this Lamborghini's on fire.
That's right. Hot prices.
This is a hot price. It will melt you.
$5,000. You're probably gonna want to pass.
Yeah. Best
go
deal.
back.
Pay no attention to the fact that tires are burned.
Go back to the Corolla section and let the Lamborghini section go.
Oh, how horrible! We're laughing, but it's just you gotta.
This breaks my heart. I don't know what else you can do.
I don't know what you do. You just laugh. Lisa's in Kansas City. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So I've only been listening to you for about a month, maybe 2 months, and we didn't have any debt, me and my husband, but we did have like credit cards that were open. We would just use them like here and there to keep them open, so we closed those, and now we're in baby step 3. But we were already like saving in retirement 10% for each of us. And we didn't know if we should stop that while we're in baby step 3, because I recently heard on YouTube where while you're in 1, 2, and 3, you're supposed to stop your retirement. So I don't know if we should stop doing our 10%, because we've kind of just added 1% or 2% there whenever we get raises, and now we're at 10%. So we didn't know exactly what we should do, if we should stop it or just keep it there until we get through it, baby step 3, and then, hit it up.
Have you done your first written budget?
Yes.
When?
We've done that. We've kind of tightened up things.
When?
Last month was our first budget.
Okay, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work very well the first month, does it?
Well, I'm kind of like already had like a budget in my mind, so
no,
it wasn't
that doesn't
really
count.
that far.
The first month you do a budget on paper, it generally doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
So how much have you got?
Close.
How much have you got? How much are you putting towards your emergency fund in your new budget?
We're putting $1,400 a month towards our emergency fund each month.
What is the goal to have in there when it's done? When it's properly funded at 3 to 6 months of expenses?
$17,512 was what it was.
Okay, so it's going to take a year.
Yeah, I've already since I was already like saving money. I already have about $6,000.
Oh,
so it won't take the whole time.
Okay,
because I'm just like a natural saver, so I already have like some money.
Good for you guys.
All right. Well, if you're able to easily turn your 401k off and on with your HR team, then I would temporarily stop it until I got the emergency fund done. If it's a big chore and it's a big problem, but the thing is this: what you focus on in life, any of us, what we pay attention to, what we focus on is what we get good at.
Okay.
Real simple. If you focus on your marriage, you'll get better at your marriage. If you focus on your kids, they'll start behaving. You know, you focus on your career, voila, you start making more money, things go. You focus on your money, focus on these steps, you focus on this emergency fund, that's what's going to happen. And that's the reason we tell folks to temporarily stop their retirement, is the power of focus temporarily on a short-term basis, which is what we're talking about here, supersedes the power of math.
Okay.
The power of saving. I do want you to be a big saver. Obviously, I want you to become wealthy. I want you to become a baby steps millionaire. And the way you're going to do that, you're going to fund your 401k, 15% of your income going into that when you don't have any payments and you have a fully funded emergency fund. And then you're going to start your kids' college fund. And then when you find any extra beyond that in your budget, you're going to throw that on the house and get the house paid off. And you'll be a millionaire doing that. That's going to work for you. But the power of focus, in a culture where we don't pay attention to anything longer than 8 seconds, if you can learn to focus, you will be vastly successful.
That's right. Hey, and as a gift to joining our gang, we'll send you a copy of Total Money Makeover. It's those steps you're cobbling together on YouTube. It lays it out for you one after the other. So hang on the line, and Kelly will get it sent out to you there in Kansas City.
Amanda's in Houston. Hey, Amanda, welcome to the Ramsey Show. Hey.
God bless you, Dave. Thank you. What a privilege and honor to speak to you. Thank you.
You too, darling. How can we help?
What should I use a brokerage account to save to buy a house cash?
I don't use a brokerage account for anything.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I don't have a brokerage account because a brokerage account sounds to me like you're buying and selling single stocks with your advisor's help, and I don't do that.
Okay, I might have the wrong understanding of what a brokerage. I have a Roth, and then I have one that's not retirement, and I thought the not retirement one, you can use it for anything.
You can, but that would be just you mean in a mutual fund?
Yes, sir. It's
okay, if you just want to buy a mutual fund and save for a house to pay cash, yes, that's perfectly fine.
How long is it going to take you to save up?
Without the investments, it probably would have taken like at least 7 years to get like $100,000. 15,000 a year, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And if you're investing it in mutual funds, you would do it in what, 5 years?
Maybe, yes, sir, maybe so. I hadn't calculated it yet.
Okay, all right.
I actually wanted to know, I have the Roth, and I think I'm doing too much on the Roth. I do like $1,000 total with the non-retirement and the Roth. It makes $1,400 a month, including my job retirement, and I feel like it's too much a month. I make $67 a year, and I feel like that's holding me back from saving as much as I could save just without investing for the house.
You're debt free.
Without saving cash.
You're debt free.
Right, yes, sir.
And you have your emergency fund in place of 3 to 6 months.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Then you're at what we call baby step 3B, to save up for a house. If you can save up for a house to buy the house in 3 years or less, and you want to do zero retirement for that 3 years, people do that sometimes. Sometimes they put some in, sometimes they put 15% in, but in no case would we have you put more than 15% into retirement of your income. So 0.15 times 67,000 is your number. And in no case do you want more than that going in while you're getting your home bought and paid off. So, hey, thank you for being a listener.
It's awesome.
John, good show today.
Thank you.
That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Thanks to the booth people. They do great, folks. The booth folk.
The booth people. It's like a new horror movie.
The booth folk. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.